At what? Seagrams?
Tito's.
Tito's, oh.
That's a good vodka.
Hi, Larry. One out of every 8 bottles of vodka sold in the United States. You're being recorded.
Really?
Oh, I'd have thought, what was the one that everybody always requests at the bar? It's maple.
No, I've already seen it online.
Okay. That 1 out of every 8.
How about that?
So education from Simpson.
That's all.
Where the stolies fit in.
We don't want those treasures.
1 out of every 86.
All right. Not very popular.
It's not even close.
Absolute?
I think I sent him a thing about
Wait,
it.
that one here.
Are we different up here though?
Mayor,
Pretty universal?
I sent him a thing about that. I saw that.
It's crazy.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to
Get rid of my August. Did I get rid of September yet? Are we close enough?
No, I
Not putting anything on the calendar.
hang on till.
September sales, sorry.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that something?
First Sunday of October.
She has to go last to report.
Yeah.
Columbus Day, we could get rid of snow flurry. That was what I always remember as a kid, especially if it hit on Sunday. We'd get just enough that I had to go next door and sweep the steps off, and then by the time church let out, the sun had melted everything anyway.
The first year I was here in 1985, we had enough. I remember that Dick Boyle went out and he wrote talks on the
Well, that's good. Thank you.
Dick was always hearing up the old versions of what he said.
There you go. That's awesome. Yep, I remember he always struck me as he could have been typecast for that 1920s, 1930s reporter with the great big flash, or whatever. Like he had that great face. He and
Tammy, you go get our things?
John Stossen.
he was always at all the weddings.
You're last on the reports tonight. You're last on the reports tonight. We actually found some out
It's called a scape graphic. The one thing I remember they had a.
Doesn't matter.
They take a picture and they pull it out. It'd actually be a film.
To go back to the liquor store. That's better.
You gotta go home and work.
You can pull it out and then stick it back in, and then it was supposed to be
just go on the computer.
Film. The negative 5 by 7 or 2 by 3.5. Yeah, that was.
Okay, you guys,
Yeah,
we're
those
going to
big
call the order
cameras
of the
were
meeting.
cheap.
Thank you all for coming. We're going to call the order of the meeting of September 25th. My pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Come on.
Do we have any other corrections to the agenda?
The only addition we have is the contract with Jeff Carpenter for administrator. I forgot to include that in the agenda, and I think that was included.
It's added.
It's added.
Yeah, I don't know. Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
First and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Mayor, we should do the oath of office too for Jeff. That was after invocation, but
We have it as
No, the
number 4.
approval was first.
You haven't made one yet.
Oh, that's why.
Oh,
That's
look
why.
at the printed.
You get the
Sorry.
highlighted one.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll do the oath for Jeff right now.
Did you print it off for him, or is he gonna have to remember?
You gotta memorize it for me.
Yeah. There it is.
Is this an I statement meeting?
Aye, state your name, state your name.
Which, you know where?
But you're gonna have to work for free for a bit.
So this is my fault, I should have had this.
6 days to read
printed
this.
out. No, I think it's in elections.
Nice, we got a big crowd here.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's here to see you sworn in.
the reason.
It is. Sure it is.
You guys got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Boy Scout.
We'll be under council. 2 or 3.
Cub Scouts was 2.
Yes.
Please send these.
Any of them, yeah.
Is it votes?
And that girl stepping in, yeah, I touched my head.
I don't know if you want to pass my phone.
You're not Chris Angill, so of course it's Chris
I was
Angill.
gonna do the phone time, but the girl just put her away.
Hi, Joe Smith.
You're looking awful spiffy today there, Jeffrey.
Sandy dressed me and got me new clothes.
Oh, she did?
Yes.
Oh, isn't that special?
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I, Jeff Carpenter, do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Minnesota and the Charter and ordinance of the city of Tracy, and do faithfully discharge the duties devolving upon me as city administrator for the city of Tracy to the best of my judgment and ability. Amen.
That's
Get
it.
a picture? Can you stand there longer? He needs another one.
With your hand up.
Yeah, you want
He's joking. Not me.
That's all there is to that.
Then we need to approve
Do
it.
we do the resolution right away for him then?
Sure, it's right there.
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2023-96, the approval of the employment agreement with Jeff Carpenter.
I'll second.
First and second, do we have any comments or anything about that? All right, roll call please.
Teets,
Aye.
Beeson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Dobson,
Yes.
Jerry Schultz,
Aye.
Landite,
Aye.
and Mayor Carn.
Aye. Is there anybody?
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
Sorry.
Skip forward to it.
It's like moving right along.
I'm already overwhelmed.
Let's say the
That's a good sign.
It's a good sign. It is.
So is there anybody from the public that would like to talk about something that is not on the agenda? All right.
Is this
Yeah, we've
about
got you.
bowling?
Is this about the,
Water.
no, the bowling thing? Okay.
Hey, I'm Janine Vandendrishi.
I gotta get you a little
And
stool.
you probably even need to talk a little louder than that, even with that.
Okay. I'm Janine Vandendrishi, 340 4th Street East, Tracy, Minnesota. And I just have a statement I wanted to read to you. 1 year ago, the citizens group chosen by the council sent out letters to the residents of Tracy and the surrounding community. In those letters, we stated that the city council had assigned us the task of raising money for a new building that would provide a place for youth, adults, family activities, events, educational classes, and health and fitness programs. The building would be built on city property without further taxing our citizens for it. 1 year has passed, almost to the day when we sent those letters out. We have raised a total of approximately $757,000 through pledges, grants, fundraisers, and private donations. That is truly amazing. and our group is extremely proud of what we have accomplished, and at the same time, humble and grateful to our contributors. We understand that we still must move forward, and we are willing to do that. Our vision is to help revitalize our community after a major and historical pandemic. Times are tough, we understand that, but the forefathers of this town did not have an easy time either. We know that you, our city council, have the same vision for our city, to make it the best possible place for our residents. We hope you will continue to support and help us in this endeavor to build a new community center for Tracy.
First of all, I would like to say you guys have done a terrific job, and you should be proud.
Well, we're all proud, aren't we? You know, it's all of us. It's the council too. We've had lots of words and lots of discussions, and I think we should all be proud. I really do.
Thank you, Janine.
Yes, you're welcome.
So then we have the issue of Larry and Pat Lavoie water bill. Those are-
Yeah.
Yep.
You wanna come up, Larry?
Okay.
I'm Larry Lavoie. I know that I dropped off with Diane some information about this whole situation, and you know, we did everything that was asked of us and humanly possible. My wife pays our bills, the vast majority of them, with bill pay. And bill pay is a service that almost every bank offers. You can go downtown here to the bank. It's the exact same service as we have at our bank. And what that does is you go into that program, you take your bill, you set up the vendor. In this case, it would be the city of Tracy. And once it's set up, you go in and then you say, okay, I want to pay X dollars, and then you put in a date that is to be paid by. That means that if they don't take wire transfers, then they mail a check, and they mail it about a week ahead of time so it has time to get there. In our case, my wife always does it a day ahead of time. And she does that because bills are due in different parts of the month. And sometimes if funds don't hit your bank account or something, it's a bigger bill, you know, but you always want it to be paid. And we've never ever had a trouble since 2012, I guess. That's when we started. And for some reason, I think because of the holidays, something happened. I don't know what it was, but the city opened and posted that payment on the 5th after Labor Day. It was mailed out on the 24th, and it always gets there about a day or two ahead of time. We went back for months and tracked it. One time it was on time the day before, which we set it at, but usually it's 2 days ahead of time, occasionally a day ahead of time. You know, we all know that happens. I think everybody I've talked to has had something, you know, that didn't get there on time. I asked Krista what the policy was. She says, well, if it's postmarked mail, you know, postmarked before it's due, it's okay, no penalty. I don't know why the postmark didn't get noticed. I don't. There's no proof. You can get notice from the post office of everything coming. It gives you a scan of the front of the envelope. I realize that would take a lot of time to go through all that, do that, but that's a free service that the city could do. Is it really something that they need to do? I don't know. But I don't know if anybody's got any questions on this.
What was the due date, Larry?
The due date was the 30th of August, I believe. It was the last day of August.
Due date was
Or
August
31st? 31st of August.
Which was Friday?
No, Thursday.
Thursday, okay.
Yep. And Krista told me, she says, well, it didn't get mailed until after that, which would have been the 1st. The checks come from Omaha. The post office said it takes 3 to 5 days. We looked back. That's what it typically is, at least 3 days, usually 4 to 5 to get to Tracy. So there's no way it didn't get mailed because of the holiday. If it got mailed on Friday, it would not have got to Tracy and been delivered on Tuesday.
Yeah, on the statement from the bank that you provided, it said remittance was 8/24.
Yes, that's the date the check is cut and mailed. It does not come out of our account until the 30th, the day we set it to pay. It doesn't.
I noticed that we've got, I think something else, down here underneath 8A on the agenda to talk about. Can we wait until we get to that to then make a decision, or is it something we should decide?
You know what,
now?
Novik, honestly, I think they're two different things. If what the one later is about the letter that we got, I think they're...
But I think it's a bigger
different.
conversation. It's up to you. I mean, we can talk about it now. I've got a number of questions which really revolve around that question. But, okay, so when do we consider a payment received?
Krista wants to come up and...
Will you come up on?
Unless someone has more questions for Larry.
No, I think right now, Larry.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. Hey, Krista.
Yeah.
So what do we consider received? Is it the postmark? Is it the day we open the letter, like it sits in our office? What do we our standard procedure?
So if I'm not mistaken, the 5th was a Tuesday, the Tuesday after Labor Day. Yep. And so if that had gotten to us, earlier or at that time, what we do is we check the postmark. If it's before the 1st, we remove penalties. Now, I'm not the only one that opens the mail, but we've never really had this issue before. We've never really had someone argue with us about missing penalties or the postmark being wrong or to prove the postmark or anything like that.
Sure.
I did explain to him that, I can't say it wasn't postmarked before the 1st because we no longer have the envelope. I also, used to manage at the bank. I know how bill pay works. And I know that sometimes, even when you print multiple checks, they can sit there for a second before they get sent. So it's hard to say. I know his bank has a procedure. I know we have a procedure. It's hard to say if the postmark got missed or not, because like I said, I'm not the only one who opens up mail. I can't say that human error isn't involved, but we've never had issues.
Yeah, typically though, our procedure would be whatever the postmark date, we would consider it to be received on that date, if we had.
So if it came in on the 5th and it was postmarked for August 31st, I'd remove the penalties off that. Right. Yeah. And that's right in our penalty procedures as well.
Can and this might be a question, maybe not necessarily, can we as a city waive a penalty?
Yes, it's our penalty that we
We
set.
have the authority to waive a penalty.
And we have not, at this point, pass that authority down to anyone else, that when people want penalties waived or whatever, or fees waived, they all come to the council at this point. That's what's on the agenda for later.
Okay,
Later
because that's
on
my question.
consideration.
Can we at some point in time draft a standard operating procedure that would at least allow the administrator or
I
deputy
think
clerk
that's what
to-
this conversation is about, because it says, and who can waive them.
Okay. But I think that would be good to, not in every single case. I understand why Krista would be reluctant or anyone else. If they've not been given authority, they should not be waiving.
Well,
the
they
fee.
can, our procedure says that they can, I don't want to say waive them, but they can, it doesn't count as a late fee as long as there's a postmark that it was mailed before that due date.
Correct, and it's changed with different administrators as well. When Madonna was here, she didn't mind if I made that decision.
Sure.
When Eric came along, he wanted to pass it to you guys to make the decision on waiving fees. So, and Krista made that clear that I would direct people to the council.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
Well, I don't think that's a bad idea. At least the administrator gets a chance to
Yeah.
look at it, just to put it on her shoulders. Maybe she don't mind
Yeah.
that, but I would think it'd be a good idea at least to get it to the administrator.
But I think right now, what we're addressing is
Is whether we're gonna-
specifically Larry's.
This one off, okay.
Yeah, that's what we're should be discussing right now is just, are we gonna waive his fees
In that,
or not?
in that we can't prove whether or not it was postmarked or wasn't postmarked, how do you usually find on that? I mean, as to whose responsibility is it, I guess, and not to find fault any place, but if we can't prove that it was not postmarked, are we obligated, or should we just
I
go
think
ahead and
since
waive it?
there is a trail that they did their not PayPal, their
Bill pay.
bill pay. And that there's documentation that they cut the check on the 24th. He cannot control if that bank mails it on the 24th or the 25th or the 26th. Any of those days, it should have still gotten here in time. But I don't think it's his fault since he can prove it was cut by the bank. It's more the bank's fault than his.
How much are we talking about?
$12.27.
Why are we talking about this?
I know.
Well,
Because I didn't have the authority
I
to
know.
take it away.
It wasn't that, it's like,
This is
Yeah.
what, this
Well,
is
it's
my thought, it's
precedent.
like, I do believe that we should reverse the penalty for you, but you might wanna have them do it a couple days sooner.
Kind of what I.
This is why I
Well,
suggest
Because to
people
get
do.
here, to give them, I mean, you're kinda like way on the borderline here.
Well, when we know a holiday is coming up too. so.
Yeah, but the 24th, you look at how many days from the 24th to the 31st.
Larry.
Could you stand up here? Okay.
yeah,
I know.
But I
You know,
guess,
this is,
can we just do it?
yeah.
okay.
Let's wait. I make a motion,
Larry,
I make a
rather than
motion
put
to
you
waive
through
it.
this,
Okay. I
would
do
move-
want to clear up one thing. This is an automated process that's set up. It's not, somebody does not go in and cut every check. These checks are cut, they're a special computer check, and then it's one of these where you rip off all the perfs around it, like that. That's all done and mailed and stuff.
But I'm just saying, maybe you guys might wanna just schedule it a couple days sooner.
Well,
to make
we were a day, and we never had a problem
I
with
know, but a
it.
day
Maybe
is-
we'll go a day ahead of that. Obviously, if we were one day earlier and this exact same thing happened, it still would have been late because it didn't get here till the 5th.
Okay, so we're
And-
gonna agree to waive that for you.
Yeah.
we need a motion.
As
We
long-
need a motion.
Yeah, we're gonna make a motion.
I
to-
move that we waive this late fee on this occasion, and we'll talk about
The next one
the
next.
future underneath the next section.
So we have a, do we-
Second.
first and a second, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Parviser,
Yes.
Van Dyke, Jones. Aye. Dobson,
Yes.
Teigs,
Aye.
Mayor Plum.
Aye.
Thank you, Larry.
So I wanted to make a question first before we do the consent calendar. Is there something on the 11th that we have sooner than, that we can't do that until 7 o'clock? For the truth and,
Oh, that is what the county requests.
that's what they request? Okay. Okay. If somebody would like to make that motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the September 11th council minutes, approve municipal accounts payable and payroll without breakthrough beverage, approve the municipal accounts receivable, approve the August 16th park board minutes, and set the truth and taxation date for December 11th at 7 p.m.
I'll second that.
First and second, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Shantz.
Aye.
Arvisa.
Aye.
Landay.
Aye.
Dobson.
Yes.
Teigs.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Mayor Corman.
Aye. Somebody like to do that with breakthrough there?
Oh, I'll make the motion to approve municipal accounts payable for breakthrough beverage.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion on that one? Roll call, please.
Landay.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Arvisa.
Yes.
Dobson.
Yes.
Shantz.
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye. So I'm trying to find that in our packet. We will move on to the water bill late fees and who can waive them.
I don't think we have anything.
I know, I'm trying
I
to.
didn't see
I'm like, I don't
anything
see
on here.
anything.
So, I guess this is, $12 is petty. I mean, you kind of feel dumb bringing that to the council, something so small, but I don't know if you guys, if the council wants to, come up with a policy, we can, I'm sure, come up with something. I know Jeff and I talked about this, so, is this something that you want to see every time? And if it is, that's fine, we can keep bringing them. I know they're not very often, but they do come up. But something as small as this where they can prove their case, it's,
I would say on a one-off, for individuals that have never been late, even if they can't prove their case that it's a day late, underneath a certain dollar amount, I don't know, come up with some kind of a procedure that would make sense.
I think we have a procedure in place that if it's postmarked and everything, I do believe in human error, that if human error comes about, they come in and they have a concern, that if it's something that they have the proof right there, I think Krista or whoever's in that position in the future down the road can make that decision, or they can then go to the administrator. If it's something, because where I think this happened in the past was it wasn't necessarily late fees, it was also people wanting to have the fees waived for the VMC and for different things, and that's where we were trying to keep the staff out of the front office being caught in the middle with the public. And they can't say to one person, well, yeah, we'll waive the fee for this one. But then the next one comes in and they say, well, yeah, no, I don't think this should be waived. That's not their responsibility in the front office. They shouldn't be put in the middle. That's when it goes into the administrator and then to the council. But I think we've got a policy in place. This is a one-off. I mean, Krista, you yourself said this has not happened.
Never seen this happen, even with the quality
So
weekends.
I don't want to make a mountain out of a molehill here, but I do think we can say on the one-offs, it can be handled by the front desk or the office people, I can't say girls, office people or the administrator. I don't think it automatically needs to come to the council.
Unless it's a big.
Do we set a dollar limit though? If it's
Any late fee, it sure really should just go to the administrator. They should be able to straighten it out. Keep it off the office people's shoulders. It should just be passed to the administrator and go from there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's fair to put it on the office. Even though they're capable of doing it, I'm sure.
If it's not that often, I think I would rather just, have the administrator sign off on it and be done.
And
If the administrator, if whoever's, trying to get their fee waived, don't agree with the administrator, want to take to the council, they still have that option.
Then that's their recourse.
Absolutely, sure. Or if it's,
Because it's not going to be an automatic forgive late fees.
Do you want this to be just for utility bills?
I think anything.
well, what else do
Um,
we charge late
I don't-
fees
What
on?
else is there besides utility bills? that
Well,
they would
it's
be
like the
charged?
fees for the VMC, because I know that's where this
Don't
kind
they
of
have to get
started.
paid before they?
We're talking late fees,
When-
not
I
fees.
mean, it can be mowing charges, it can be,
Oh,
all kinds of different fees.
think
I would say
the
late
administrator
fees
should
on
be-
utility bills is sufficient right now.
Shaking your head, yes, Jeff? That's
The
why
other
they
thing
get
to
the
keep
big
in
bucks.
mind is we do offer to the residents, what do you call it? Direct withdrawal.
Through the PSM.
Oh, yeah. that-
So it's
I
set
use
up
that
And
thing.
Gracie uses both ways,
Yeah.
which I
Have
did
you
offer
ever tried
him.
that?
Yes.
I used that.
Yep, so it'll automatically, the Tracy initiates the withdrawal. So if it doesn't get withdrawn, that's on us.
And that's another reason why if it's handled at this level, that can be explained at the time and people can still say, no, I think this is a one-off, I'll beef up my procedure, or they can then sign up for it.
Cool.
So do we need
Okay.
to make a motion?
Do we need a motion?
I think we'll bring back a resolution.
Okay.
Let's let them bring back a resolution, we can pass it, and then it's
So-
in writing.
Where do we talk about that letter that we received? About a water bill?
So that's about the tenant, landlord.
Do we need to talk
late
about that
fees.
at all? Because that just,
I don't know if they really requested to go to the council with
Okay.
that one. So, as far as I'm concerned, that's an FYI, but
Well, I think
we've run into that in the past with other landlord-tenant situations.
Didn't we,
I think I don't know when, not that long ago, we discussed it because we asked the question, does the landlord receive the same late notice as the tenant? And we agreed that that was our procedure. And as far as I'm concerned, if that's what's happening, then the landlord has an opportunity to pay that at whatever point in time it's due and avoid penalties. And if they don't, then
And they can
And there's
withhold the
been-
deposit if they've gotten a deposit from their tenant. They can hold that back for the bill.
that I don't know if, I mean, that's more
there's been
about
so many
how the,
tenants that have
yeah.
had to pay for,
how the deposit's written up, but it should be written up that
oh,
way.
I don't understand how they get so high before we end up getting it.
So,
Well,
I
you
think
it
during
should, because
COVID, it-
when does the notice go out that there's a late bill? Because we
You want
caught,
me to get up and explain this too?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
as long as you're here.
So penalties get applied when they're even a day late, okay? And then when it gets to be 2 months late, disconnect notices go out. When disconnect notices go out, that's when the landlord also gets a disconnect notice, or the property owner, whoever's on file, whoever that be, in this case, I know who you're speaking of, they get all of them. There's certain landlords that request they get the bill every month. I send that separately so they can stay on top of their tenants because they've had issues. When water is disconnected, which there's a disconnect date and the amount on that disconnect notice, when that's disconnected, we have to wait a month before final billing. The reason we have to do that is to give them an opportunity to turn their water back on. And by doing that, they have to pay reconnect fees and everything in full to get that back on. After a month, then the Department of Health gets involved, where they can't live without water for a month. And that goes to Shane after that, if they're still living there. Most of the time, we just send the final bill. That final bill goes to both the owner, and we do look at the property taxes to verify who that owner is, and the tenant. So it goes to both of them at the same time. And that says a due date on there, how much is owed, And when they get to my aging report, so that I don't have to certify as many people, I go with the extra mile by calling the people I'm about to shut off, by calling the people that are on my aging report saying, this is accumulating penalties. This is what happens if you don't pay this. So these people get the same stuff explained to them over and over. It's not like they're blindsided by anything going on. And that's how it gets so high, is because, and I've explained that to you before too, with the 30 days afterwards.
So in this situation, from what I understand, it's a little different in that we couldn't do a disconnect because there is only one connection to several units. So if 3 out of the 4 have paid their bill on time, it wouldn't be appropriate to turn off the water.
Which we
whole
don't.
unit.
In that case, I call
So-
Jeff Flake and I say, do you want us to come plug the meter?
All right, so even though we don't send a disconnect notice out, we still send,
He gets a disconnect notice. He still gets it.
you
They're
get that.
automatically
Even though we can't
generated.
disconnect it, we send one.
Yep.
Okay.
So typically on those, since there's only one curb stop for the 4 units, we go in there with, whether it be the tenant or the landlord that lets us in, but we go in, mechanical room, pull the meter apart, plug the meter, put everything back together and seal it. And then once they pay the bill, we come plug back up. So, that's
So
our,
the other tenants still have the
Correct.
water.
Yep.
But a lot of time we're told no by the landlord because they need to clean or paint in there and they'd rather keep the water on instead of switching it into their name. Sometimes they know they're going to be responsible for their tenant's bill and they keep it in the tenant's name. It's an issue.
That's still no excuse.
but it still falls on them regardless.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
gotta shut it off.
Okay.
You gotta shut it off.
So if somebody wanted something that big waived, they're gonna have to come into here and
Yeah, they're not getting it waived.
they have the right to come before paying.
They do. But,
Can I add something?
yes.
So I looked, and in Minnesota, there is no laws against what you charge for your deposits and what you put on those deposits. So you could have a damage deposit for the month's rent, or the last month you could do it, but you could also put $200 extra on there for a
Disconnect.
for a disconnect. Yeah, I know we don't do that at Orchard Lanes, but you can do that. There is no rules on what you want to charge for, in Minnesota anyway, on what you want to charge for your
Doesn't the
damage
city
deposit.
charge a deposit on renters? I
So-
think they started doing that now.
Everyone except for snowbirds, actually. We has to pay a deposit even if you're an owner now. It's $200.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's only applied to, service changes in the last, 2 years?
That started in 2022, yep.
Yeah.
Which
Year
I
or
think
two.
is a good idea.
So, I mean, if it was prior to that, there wouldn't be a deposit, but anything newer, they're requiring that, which helps the landlord out too.
It does help the landlord out.
There's that and the others,
That's
so
what I
you could cover your, just in a change in your, or in your lease, so.
Okay. And Pollock Engineering.
So there is a task order resolution later on here for the design, but there's a question brought up at the community worker meeting last week about looking at 2 to 3 different, whether it be 2 versus 3 different locations. And as long as there's no plans that need to be drafted for each location, it's just a preliminary, we're gonna look at these 3 locations, and offer an opinion or pros and cons, just on that high level. They're not gonna charge an additional cost for that, whether it be 2 or 3. They did say if it's more than 3, then there might be some charges, because, you're getting into a little more.
Thanks, Krista.
Thank you, Krista.
So, I guess that's the answer to that question. So.
That's
But
awesome.
if you want a plan set for every location, that's gonna cost, so. It's not gonna be 3 times the cost, but it's gonna be, it's probably gonna be double plus some possibly, so, okay?
So this resolution that we have right now would be the point in time where they would begin that process.
Yeah, so once this resolution's passed, then, they're free to start you know, their process, but we kind of need to come together and decide.
I guess after kind of thinking about it and everything, I don't know that we need to do all three, in that we don't really even know how much the dollar, whatever out there is even being sold for. I mean, all we have at this point in time is just a realtor representing one side of this who had reached out to say they may be willing to sell. But he's not the one representing the person that actually owns the paper that's going to have to sign something too. And so I just think there's so many unknowns with that building, plus it's so much larger than anything we even have talked about building, that is it reasonable to put Bolig through the process of jumping through that hoop?
No, I think it's a waste of their time.
I do-
Why would, it's, for us struggling with money, it's financial suicide to us. Because if we go and buy it, all of a sudden we have to pay for it, and then all of a sudden we have to do the upkeep, and we're not getting taxes anymore, which is, what, 15, 16 grand a year?
Yeah.
It's not
I-
worth it.
I agree. I'd like to limit it to just the two locations, because I think the additional costs that, when we don't know what the building would end up costing, plus even the snow removal is gonna be additional, you know, because we don't do that already. When you're talking $15,000, we're talking over a 1% increase in the levy just for that we would lose that tax revenue, so we would have to pick it up on potentially having a larger levy, and we all know we do not want that, and the citizens don't want that. So I think we still have two good viable options for new or for remodel. And if Boling is willing to help us weed through the pros and the cons of that with no additional cost,
Yeah.
I think that's the way we go.
I agree.
I agree with that. We all seem to agree with that, right?
Oh, not necessarily.
No,
but,
you don't?
I wasn't at that meeting, so I have to be quiet.
You don't have
No,
to
you
be
don't.
quiet.
After what?
Well, I can't put up a good argument, because I wasn't there.
Well, so say your thoughts.
I'm guessing we're gonna lose some tax revenue, but that would be an ideal spot. Paved place for people to walk with their Sunday shoes to get in if they're having a Christmas party or birthday party or whatever's going on. So that is a big plus in my opinion. Now, if it's too big, then the police is always saying, I gotta have more room. Let's give him a little corner of that. Not too big, but a little one. We don't want the police to get too much. But anyway, there's a lot of things we could do if it's a good buy. To take an old building that's not a good buy and try to resurrect it.
We're not saying that's what we're gonna do.
No.
We're saying we're gonna look at it.
I think that's the question. What?
The dollar store could cause a much longer delay because we don't know if it's going to be for sale and if it's going to be a reasonable price or not. I don't think they want to spend $500,000. I can't speak for everybody, but to spend that much on a building that's right now a totally empty building that a lot of work would have to be done to, if we're going to do that, we're better off maybe looking at what we've said for a new building. You know, and if it's a matter of gravel or not, I mean, other businesses that have wedding receptions have gravel, but if we need to put asphalt on a parking lot, I mean, up and down the street is already asphalt and everything. If you're talking about just right here, you know, that would have to be built into the cost comparisons. I just think there's too many unknowns, and I don't want this drug out for another couple of years because we're putting our eggs in this basket that we don't know what the cost of even the building is going to be and when it's going to come up for sale.
But by shutting that door, you don't get a chance to put an egg in there. You know,
But
at no cost, you look at all three options,
But we don't
then you
have,
can decide.
the most important part of that whole thing is the baseline cost. We don't have it. So, I mean, you're
And
saying,
bowling's not gonna have it.
no, nobody's gonna have it yet.
So Jeff, what's your thought about that whole building? Like,
I'm not saying it's a building, I'm just, we're closing the door without even having a
Got
chance
an
to look
idea.
in.
Just to go along with Tom said, though, this is a complete unknown. There's two parties and we'd be the third party. So it's actually the second party that are the ones that their realtor got a hold of me. So we are a long ways away. So you wouldn't know if they'd be looking for tax value. They hadn't even talked to the owner of the building yet. The owner of the building has zero at stake here. They're getting they're not the ones paying the taxes. Family Dollar's paying the taxes on it. They are the ones that are collecting the lease, which I believe is $84,000 a year, and it's got 7 years left on it. So they've got unless they want to just walk away from it, which there is 6 other ones in the exact same boat across Minnesota. So they've got really no skin in the game to walk away from it unless they are looking at getting some money to invest it someplace else. I'm just guessing on that. So,
But if they're getting $84,000
84, yep,
lease for at least 7 more years,
$63,000 or $630,000.
they're not gonna sell that building for.
Unless they wanted to get out of it for some reason, yes.
Well, in
But
time
they're
value.
still not
But it
gonna-
was a piece of that, Jerry, was they knew they were trying to cut their losses, Family Dollar was. So they were going to try to see what they could get for it from a party, an interested party, possibly us, and then go to the owner and say, okay, we'll add this amount to it and see if they can knock, I don't know, 100,000 off, whatever it would be. So all of that is speculation.
Well, they could, I mean, they might be able to deal with that time value of money a little bit and then get out, if they can sell it, then get out from under insuring something they're not going to use and everything else. So there's a value there, but yeah, I mean, 84,000 times 7 is, what, 533,000 or something?
600 and some thousand. It's a
What is the market value of that?
340, 350 is the market and tax value on it. Went down a little bit this year, Dave. It would have been sitting at 16,000, but it had been sitting empty for now for six years, so 5.5, 6 years. So now it's down to, I think it's 14,900 is what the taxes that are coming in on it right now are, which is a lot. Still a lot. It's over 5,000 square feet. It's a big building. Which would,
The building sits empty for that long, have they been keeping any heat in it at all?
well, I think they took the water out of it completely, so it's been winterized one time, and then the outside's been taken care of. It's being taken care of by somebody here in town. So have anybody been inside? I don't know. I would assume I could get in there if I had to, but
okay, so let me ask you this. So is it a possibility that you can call the other party and ask if they're even thought about any of this so that we know one way or the other which way we're going?
Research it.
I've tried to talk to those people a number of times. There is somebody here in town that is in communication with them. That, yes, there's always that opportunity, but
Not going so well?
I don't, yeah.
I just think the timing, we're talking, it could postpone, it could be, put another couple more years on.
You're right,
before-
Jerry. 3 years ago, it was here, and this is what they needed, and now we're starting to work our way where it's going to come, okay, it's time to sell, because they don't have any else, there's nothing else to gain.
But that's not going to be within this year. And we were looking at trying to
Not for them.
break ground or do something for the community center within 2024. I'm not convinced we'd be able to do that if we went with that
You'd
building.
probably have a hard time convincing the people that own it to let an engineering crew in there, unless they had in writing that they're getting their money.
And so I just hate to delay the process. That's been our thing here since we closed the old one, is just the time it's taken.
I agree, Jerry. My concern is there's too many variables that look like it would be an extremely delayed process to even get basic answers. I don't know how we can,
Well,
I would not be in favor of going to Family Dollar. if we remove that from the consideration for bowling.
Do we need to take a vote on that?
Discussion, or are we voting later on in the resolution part?
I don't know that you really need to have a motion on there, it's more informational, so.
I know, but sometime we're gonna have to make a motion to tell
it's-
bowling.
It's down here on
It's on the
number
resolution.
6.
That's,
Okay.
but
think
to
that could
approve
be-
the resolution is saying we're gonna give bowling the RFP, the 85,000 to do this study. It doesn't say in the resolution how many options we're gonna have them look at.
It's in the preliminary design, so if you don't, say you don't do the building, it's not gonna be 85,000. It's only gonna be the design portion of it. So they're only gonna charge what they do. So if it gets into design, then, then it's gonna start getting into that design phase. So there's 3 parts to it. One's, looking for grants, the funding portion, and one's the
And
design
community
portion.
involvement, I think.
Community engagement portion, and then there's the last part is the design. And
Okay,
that's,
But,
charge it out by hour.
Then if you,
but the bottom line, who's gonna give bowling direction as to
The
the
council.
2 locations? Well, that's what I'm saying, why
if you want to
not
make a
do it
motion, make a
now
motion then, and let's move on.
to get it done with?
But that could be so they're gonna have a first meeting with community engagement, and that can be done there too. I mean, it really doesn't matter when you do it. Cause they're gonna need a meeting to kind of kick this whole thing off, as far as, what are we looking at for programming, what are we looking at for a building or building options, and then they'll go back and look at things and bring them back. So there may be a few different meetings with the group that'll have to take place, so. But if you want to make a motion on this, then I can pass that along to you too, so. However you want to do it.
Well, I'm gonna lay my cards on the table. I'll make a motion, but I don't want when all of a sudden we start meeting with the community, people start saying they want to change the outcome of this motion. I'm tired of that. Where we sit here, we make a motion, we agree this is how we're going to move forward. We go to move forward and then someone says, wait, stop, I don't think I want to do that now. Well, we've already voted. We don't need to continue to bring a vote back time and time again. That's what I don't want to happen. I'll bring a motion forward if people are saying they're going to stand behind the decision of the motion.
Well, like Jeff said, we might not even be able to get into that building to even do a fair estimate on it. 'Cause
I'll
they have
make a
no reason to
motion.
let us in.
I'll make a motion, I don't have a problem making a motion. I'll make a motion that we ask Bolig to look at the 2 options of the new one that we were discussing and planning for here in the empty lot, and the old community center location.
Second.
First and second, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Randy,
Somehow I knew you were coming in. I didn't think about that. Skip me for a little bit.
okay. Jones,
Aye.
Dobson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Margisu,
Yes.
Teagues,
Aye.
Randy.
No.
Okay. Mayor Corman.
Aye. Alrighty, department heads. Tammy, would you like to go first?
No, she's last.
I'm paying an employee. So, nothing really new other than MMBA to promote community is doing every year they do the food shelf promotion for the month of October. So anybody, and then we're doing like some specials with Miller Lite. And then actually Coors Light through the month of October is doing a breast cancer thing, so we're doing some promotions with that for that as well. I want to thank everybody from the city that came out for Carol's fundraiser on Sunday.
We appreciate the support. They extremely appreciate the support, and they're overwhelmed with the generosity and the kindness of the city of Tracy. I mean, people that are in the city of Tracy.
Can I add something on that, Cam?
Yeah, you sure may.
We have a Facebook event page in which there's a good GoFundMe option if you're unable to attend and you would feel like you would still like to contribute or get a check to Tam or myself, we can funnel that to the family. So there's still opportunity if people would still like to join.
And then I can definitely tell after Labor Day that sales are slower.
Every year.
But yeah. Other than that, anybody have any questions or comments or? We good?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Jason, do you want to go?
If anybody has any questions about the numbers that I included in the report for the last couple months, I'll entertain those. Otherwise, all I have to mention tonight is all the officers have qualified as of last month, so qualifications are done. And there's been some updated public nuisance ordinance citations issued for people who didn't go along with the warnings they received before that they were supposed to have corrected before Labor Day. So that's all I have to add.
What's the, I don't remember what the code is for like a vehicle if it's not licensed. Is there a period of time that it can be on a person's property, and what do we do about?
That's what some of the public nuisance ordinances.
Is that what those are?
Public nuisance ordinances are categorized between vehicles and then other debris, basically. So in the ordinance, it's vehicle related or non-vehicle related.
Okay.
So that is part of the public nuisance.
Right. I'll take a look at that for sure then. Thank you.
Anybody else have anything for Jason? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Val, do you want to go?
All right, just wanted to mention for the public that we have the Yellow Flowers paintings that were completed over Boxcar Day weekend currently up in our gallery downstairs. I think all of you probably got to see them a couple times last week, but just would encourage the community to come down and see those. They are really, really cool. Other than that, I don't have anything to add to my report, so if you have any questions.
It's good to see the activities down there. I really like that.
Doing a great job.
Thank you. We stay busy.
Thank you.
Thanks, Val.
Thank you, Val. Tyler?
Always say the best to last.
That's what I keep telling
Hey.
Tyler.
Well, Shane hasn't gone yet.
Neither has Jeff.
I'm always last.
You don't know. Well, I forgot. Well, what are you now?
What are you?
Administrator in waiting.
Till Sunday.
Well, good evening, everybody. You have my report in front of you. The numbers changed a little bit in regards to the budget. I only put in $40,000 for Central Park. This past year was $57,000, but we've received $23,000 additional in donations for Central Park. So really, we're kind of adding $6,000 extra there. And we had a little bit of savings in the area of salaries and also new income from the FFA farm lease. That's the land just on the other side of the train tracks by the Lions Church that we rent to FFA. And Jeff got a lease together there for the next 5 years. 5 years. Revenue was down a little bit in utilities, just a slight amount. Liquor store had great sales. Like she said, it slowed down from July, but compared to last year, it was really good, better than last year. And interesting stuff in the area of the DMV. The driver's license for all starts on October 1st. And if you have any tab renewal, driver's license renewal, get in there before October 1st because the fees will go up on October 1st. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
No, thanks.
Have a good
Jeff.
evening.
Jeff, did you want to go?
I have a few things for the public tonight. Number one, there will be more information on the homeowner grants that we were approved for last, the $1.127 million that we were approved for. That is common knowledge now. We know, or I know for a fact that a lot of people read the paper and a lot of people spread the word around here, because my phone has not stopped ringing about applying for the grant and when I can apply for the grant. So just to set it straight, again, just like it said in the paper, there's no reason that it'll be in the newspaper at least once, if not twice more, before anybody needs to apply for that. We will put that in the newspaper. We will put it on Facebook. We will put it out there on the social media with the website, everywhere else. But there's right now, I can only tell you just what I said tonight, or what was in the newspaper, is that we did get approved for the money. It did get close to that $1.4 million that we asked for. That includes the $75,000 that we would put in through our CDBG account, the $1.127 million that comes from deed, and then the money that UCAP would be putting into it too. So that is coming. It'll be a wonderful program over 24 and 25, but there's nothing you need to do right now. Absolutely nothing.
Any projection of when, I mean, are we 2024 before we even start thinking about it?
Yeah, before we even start thinking about it, yes. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be a public meeting for that also. There's a few things that need to be done over the next few months that UCAP will walk us through and help us with. It's we had a lot of people that did the pre-application, and I know that was, Seth, George, you helped me hand those out door to door. I mean, that was quite a long time ago, but we have a lot of people that are interested in it, and there's the same qualifications again, but there's nothing you need to do right now, and we will get out to you, into the public, what needs to be done when it's time to get it done.
And Jeff, is it safe to say that people won't be able to apply for the program until after those big public meetings?
Yes. Yep. There'll be a physical form you'll be able to get online, and I'm sure that we'll be able to have something here that you can pick up also. Okay, so that kind of explains that a little bit. Any questions on the numbers at all? We owe a lot to UCAP, to Yenny, and to Jeff Gladys for putting together such a good report through deed or application. If you happen to look at it on their website, there was 36 cities that got it again. As far as I could tell, we were the only ones that got it 2 years, or basically two trips in a row we got it. And the only two that were above us were for infrastructure grants, the top two. So we were actually the number one of the amount of money that was sent out, or that will be sent out, that had homeowner and commercial, which there was a lot of them in the cities there, but a lot of them were 600, 650, 500, 400,000. Ours was $1.127 million that came from deed. So Jeff and Yenny did a fantastic job of writing that application. I did not see that application. They did not ask me to help, for probably good reason that they had.
You'll have to tell them we appreciate that.
I will. Okay. I couldn't remember if I had mentioned it last month, but we did receive an extension on that EDA grant that helps businesses here in town with their social media and their websites. We have a couple of new ones that are going to be using it now. So we got a 15-month extension on that. So we've got a good amount of money that we can use to pay contractors to help people out with their social media and websites. So we're looking for a couple more contractors, and we're looking for more businesses. One of the businesses that is going to be using that I want to talk about real quick is, as of next Monday, we have Sydney Foltz is going to be opening up her new store downtown. That is going to be, it's on October the 2nd, that she is going to be selling children's clothes from ages 0 to 14, maternity clothes, toys, and books. So please please go down there and take a look at what she's got to offer starting next Monday.
Just all new stuff?
It's all new stuff. Yep, all new. It's going to be in the, it's the, I can't think of what it's called, Jay Foltz's building.
Next to Silver Shears.
Next to Silver Shears, yes. That will be open for business on Monday. It's going to be her grand opening, and there's no soft opening. They're getting right into it. So I encourage you to take care of the businesses here in town and shop local, and that'll be just another place that'll bring people to downtown. And it's great to have her here. I've set her up with a small business development center. We've set her up with, she's going to be getting some work done from a contractor for her social media and website page. So she's using everything here in town that we are offering, and we're looking forward to her having a business here in town. The museum update, I know I hadn't had, I kind of sent out a note to you, but just to let the public know that the county, Lyon County, actually gave $15,000 for the new septic system out at the museum, which was above and beyond the $20,000 that we need to order from our ARPA funds to pay for the water that will go out there. So that is all taken care of with the county. All we got to do is put a requisition for the money itself, and that will all be taken care of. So they're getting those numbers around to me. So get the bills in so I can get them into who they need to go into in Marshall. But thank you, Lyon County, for seeing the value of the museum here in Tracy, that it's in Lyon County and also a significant part of the city of Tracy. That's all I got for tonight.
Who does the pool update? Shane or you? How's that count?
Probably Shane, probably going to give you a better update on the
Yes.
on the inside. Yes.
Just curious how that's going.
Any questions at all? Okay.
Thank you.
I guess I'm it. Save your best for last, right? Street patching, we did some street patching today. If you notice that around town. There'll be a little bit more work going on there as part of the 2023 street improvement projects. Good news today, the PFA grant is finally officially approved by the state. I've been waiting for that since June, so that was just signed this morning, so waiting for the state to sign it yet, but we have the approval letter in hand, so we can start drawing our 861,000 for the Center Street project, now that that's complete. We did have a water service break, if anyone noticed, on Elm and 2nd East Friday. And then we plan on starting the BMC sewer this week, likely, and Thrivent Financial's hydrant that got hit by a vehicle. So that's a new area, but it's not because of poor workmanship, it's because it was struck by vehicles. So I don't know if we'll get them both done this week, but as soon as we get one done this week, we'll get it done next week. So I did put it in my report on the pool. Gotta find it here. But anyway, the lap pool, they're going to be filling that at the end of the week along with the splash pool. So they fill it to push all the air out from underneath the liner, and then they seal the top. So we're going to be filling that at the end of the week here, mid to the end of the week, both of them. And they'll be kind of finishing up that project. So that's going well. They should be done here in the next couple of weeks. Be looking for payment, I'm sure, on that too. So
No hiccups along the way then?
no, the only thing is, and I mentioned during I think it was a budget meeting last week, that there is some evidence of some leaks in some pipes, but that's outside the liner. It can be in the pool deck, so we're going to do some further investigating on that once the liner's done. We don't want to make a mess of their work and be in their way. So
Gene, how much water were we losing at the pool daily as far as the leakage problem?
So after we fixed the gaping hole in the liner, we had it down to 40,000 a day.
Down 40.
We were at 48. So we did find one of the major leaks. There was a cut behind one of the rope anchors that had basically a 2-inch hole there. I think that's going to contribute to most of the leak, and that's been repaired. So there's still some evidence of piping leaks too, which is going to be probably a substantial loss too. I think that was a major contributor.
So having these leakages fixed for next summer, that should make a significant cost savings on our operating costs next summer, should it not?
Yeah, both for the water plant and the pool. So we would treat the water at the water plant, and then we got to treat the water in the pool up to a higher level to make it swimmable. So we're gonna have some chemical savings there. Operation wise, as far as labor, it wasn't much of a difference, but other than changing out chemical containers more often, but the chemical costs for sure are going to be.
When you have to heat more water, if you're leaking a lot worse than
Not
that.
this year, because I don't think
so
there's
hot.
many days under 90, so. But yeah.
Early in the season.
Early in the season, you'll see that. And this didn't leak that bad for the first half. We were a little past halfway, and that's when our autofill system started falling behind, and we had to supplement water. So, so it started out okay this year, so it just finally gave away.
Shane mentioned the water main on Elm Street. How old was that?
It was actually water service.
Okay.
So we had a curb stop that didn't work, and usually you can unscrew the riser off the actual shut off underground. So we sucked around it, and then we went to unscrew it. So I went over there and assisted Gary, and apparently my arm's a little stronger than I thought it was, and I went to unscrew it, and I snapped the thing off underground. So then we ended up digging and tried it. Didn't take much to fix, and it was fixed by Ford, but told Gary I'm not helping him on Friday afternoon.
Did we find out who hit that hydrant on 14? Did we?
I'm not going to publicly announce who did that, but there is a police report on it. So.
Do we go after?
We will. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll
Once we know what the
insurance
damage
on that,
is.
yeah.
Okay, good.
We had to go out in the middle of the night and shut that off. It was on the ground at a pretty good rate. So. We did get the handicap sign on 3rd. We did get the sign switched over on the 6th Street area on the project. We think it's what it was pre-construction, but
it is.
If anybody has any doubts on anything, let me know, and I'll get some ISG's pre-construction videos and see what actually is there. But we think it's about what it was before. So,
Emery's back to what it was.
There is some sinkage on some sidewalks again,
Okay. Where at?
between the sidewalk and our driveway.
Yes, we noted that one.
Okay.
Yep, that one's on the list.
Quit parking your tank on it.
I don't park there, I go in the garage.
Shane, you mentioned on the street patching. Are you done with the street patching you're going to be doing now this fall, or?
For the street patching, yes. We are going to do the alley behind the fire hall was slated for this year. We poured some concrete back there early last week, and we'll be. I got one quote today. I'm going to get another quote here tomorrow for, doing the rest of the alley around that patch. There's some drainage we're going to put in. There's some roof drains that dump into that alley. We're going to put some lines in there to intercept that, so it doesn't wash out our alley again. Yeah, part of that fire hall lot was done back in '09, and then the the rest of the alley hasn't been touched in years, so
Hmm.
it's basically eroded to nothing.
Okay.
If you notice between the bowling alley and the building there, it's about 6 inches deeper than the sidewalk, so.
Yeah, that one is bad, so it's
Pretty rough.
glad to hear that, doing that.
Yep.
How about the Swift Lake path? Is there what's the future maintenance scheduled on that?
There isn't much, you know, it's something that we've done with the grants, and there hasn't been a whole lot of grants on refurbishing paths, but we have been patching as needed, but kind of needs to be slurry sealed or something of that nature, but we're talking about 30,000 plus to do that.
I do have some concerns on that if we don't do something soon, that we're going to lose that.
And that's something that we can put in a future budget if the council wants to look at that as a future CIP project.
We almost have to do it sooner than later, the way it's deteriorating. I mean, if we're gonna try to save it.
Yeah.
It was last seal coated in, I think it's 2013 and 14. Was the last time it was sealed. Now with a clear seal, it's a polymer based product, so just for the surface, keep the surface as smooth as possible. We don't want to chip seal it like we do a road. It's gonna be hard to rollerblade or whatever on it, but we have talked about possibly slurry sealing that, you know, kind of like they did at the airport, where it's you know, it's an embedded. They put aggregate in it, but it's embedded. It's more of a sand mix, where it's a little smoother than you know, chip sealing up we do on the roads.
Do we have any chip sealing in mind for next year?
For next year, there's some, and then the following year, I think, is the big project. We're going to be doing like phase 1 and some of these other newer streets, so they don't get behind. So trying to keep up with it the best we can. But right now it's tight for the next couple of years, so we're trying to
No, there's a lot of
keep it balanced to some degree.
Yeah, you've got a lot of competing needs.
Yes.
But that bike pedestrian path through the park, how long has that been out there? I mean, that's the 20 plus years.
I think they put that in. I don't think it was there when I graduated, so right around about the same time the pool was put in, I'm guessing.
That'd be 20. That'd be about 20 years.
I'll go 2. Easy. No, so I would guess 02 to 04, somewhere in there. I haven't found any plans on that, so I don't know how that project came about. But I know it wasn't there when I graduated from 02. Any other questions you may have?
On the resolutions?
Okay. We have under new business, resolution 2023-89, approval for designated funds for community center to be put into investment. I think Jeff, you requested this to be on the agenda, and that's to invest the funds that we have sitting in cash, you know, for a few months, being the interest rates are where they are, for the time being.
The one amount was 214,000, and then you have the restricted funds, the 144,000 that you had put in as a city too. You could put that in also if you so desired.
Because that's just sitting in our.
It's just sitting in general fund, yeah.
Not being invested anywhere.
Yeah, not right now. Yes, there's nothing. None of that has been come out of there. What we have invested would be the money that we got from O'Brien Court. That has been put into an investment fund. But that's all restricted funds also, so with this, it'd be restricted funds, so.
So do you need the specific dollar amount?
I could yeah, it'd probably be nice to have that. So,
It's not in here, so.
yeah, no. So that's the amount that's there.
So it'd be, can you add up those $2 amounts?
We'll get an exact amount and put it in there. It was
So
just a
it's-
question if you wanted both or one.
Both, why not?
Should we separate them though? The city's money plus donated money? I'm just thinking for, we always get our auditors wanting to follow money.
Okay.
Do we want to mix the two together?
Well, you almost have to, because you can only go to 250, Dave. 250,000, so you'd have to split it into two no matter what.
Okay.
So I can keep those separate if you wanted to. Any thoughts? 6 month, 9 month?
We start at 6 months.
Can you do one and one and one and the other one?
I think I can do.
We could do their donated money for a longer one to keep it invested, and as expenses come
Yeah.
up,
Remember, you've still got the money at Southwest Initiative that's sitting there waiting for this. So if something came up that you needed, 150 or 200,000, that money's there.
You can get at that fairly easy.
I would assume so. I haven't discussed that with them, but that's what the money is there for. It's an off branch of the Tracy Area Community Foundation. So, and that's who our holder of the monies are in there.
But that's
So.
also invested, so if we take it out, we're
Yep.
losing. So after we do this, do we have any, we have to have some cash available to pay Bowling and some other places, right?
Bowling will be through that $50,000.
But we get reimbursed for that. We have to put money up front.
Yep.
Do we need to keep some cash to put up front, or?
Well, then we could almost keep the city money out of there, so that we got that as ready available cash.
Or we do 100,000 of the cities,
That might be better.
and then we keep the 40,000 or whatever just at the ready.
I like that idea.
That grant was 50, so.
Yeah, but we'd be able to pay it. We're only doing it for
Yeah.
6 months.
That's such a short period of time too. I don't think I'd worry too much. It's not like we have just enough to make it through the month in the account.
I was just gonna say, wouldn't we have some funds we could
Yeah.
use and then reimburse with that grant?
Yeah.
That much. Okay. 200 and 100?
Sure.
Sounds good.
What interest rate are we going to be able to get on those?
I don't know what the new one is right now. Interest rates have risen again, so I haven't seen the. It was 4.5 here a month ago, I think. A month ago it was 4.5. Janine, when you and I talked about it the first time, wasn't it 4.5? It's gone down since then.
Our bank is at 5.
But anything is better than what we got right now, so let's go for it. In
Okay.
6 months or in 8, 9 months, or what are we going for?
I don't think there's an advantage going longer, is there?
Small amount of interest, not much for,
Sometimes when you go longer, you get a better rate.
but right now.
I do one at 6 and one at 9.
Okay.
If there's a cost, if there's much of a difference.
Then just okay. I'll use my judgment on that. Well, it won't be judgment, it'll be facts I'll get, so.
You want to do the cities at 6 months and the rest at 9?
Might as well. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-89.
Thank you.
You guys work out the details.
Pressure.
Second.
First and second, and roll call, please.
Arvisa,
Yes.
Dobson,
Yes.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Teets,
Aye.
Van Dyke,
Aye.
Schoen's,
Aye.
Mayor Corner.
Aye.
All right, now we got resolution 2023-90 calling for assessment hearing on the phase 3A2 infrastructure improvement project. For the Minnesota statutes 429, we needed a resolution on this. I know we wanted to do it the first meeting in October, but it didn't really work on timing wise to get notices out and get a resolution passed to call for that hearing. So we set that to be on the 23rd of October for the second meeting. We get that done. That's to be, it's due by the county, I think November 30th. Is the deadline for those assessments to be in. So we still have the hearing set, based on the past conversation with the council on this for do the Center Street project and the 382 project at the same time for the hearing. So we have to have a separate approval for resolutions.
So Shane,
1991.
I've had a few people ask me, number one, if they're going to pay, I'm assuming it's the $7,500 if they live on Center Street. When is that due? If they want to pay in full, when would they be paying it? The first half of the 2024 property tax payments?
I think it's,
So if they want to pay it in full, it has to be done by November 15th.
Of this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And then they would have the option, if the first year goes on the tax statements, then they can pay the balance by November 15th of the next year. And they would have that option every year.
And the interest rate?
I think the other ones were set at 4.4.
4.4%?
And this would be the same?
I can double check just to make sure that number's correct, but I think the last one was 4.4%.
Should we get that out to the public?
I have
That
a
if
lot
they-
of questions on this.
That if they want to pay it without interest, they would need to pay it, I mean,
We can do that. It'll be on the official notice that they're
That they
sent
get.
out.
I think
Yeah.
that'll be laid out in the letter that's sent out to them.
Okay.
and that'll be before this October meeting.
Yeah, that's what we need to notice them, at least 2 weeks prior. So that's why we push this off to the second, and to get it in the paper, we can get it this week or next and still be fine, but just to make sure that official notice is out there for a solid 2 weeks before we have the assessment hearing.
Now, we're having two separate assessment hearings, is that correct?
Yes.
And what were the times?
Scheduled them at the same
Both set for 6:30 so that you can move into the second one.
The 382 will be first, and then the Center Street will be second. So if the 382 one lasts 2 minutes, we just go into the other one.
We're putting the same starting time.
Yep.
Yeah.
One may take 10 seconds, and then we can just move into the next one.
You can notice it earlier, but you can't notice it later. So if you notice the second one at 7:45, first one was done at 6:35, then you'd have to wait, where now you can just move right into the next.
Well, I'd agree to that, but I do think we're going to have a significant number of people attending these hearings.
That would be different.
I do.
Well,
To what end? I mean, that's my question is, what will people be asking for? I mean, our hands
No
are kind of
different than
tied.
any other street project we've done.
No,
It's not like we're gonna
but-
waive
but
any.
I'm trying to think of the last hearing we had. There were some people.
Well, there's a couple that, because they were left off the list. And then they were getting noticed later.
that's not gonna happen this time, right? Everybody's gonna get the notice.
Eric and I both reviewed the notice of improvement letters that went out, and everybody was in then. Kyle and Eric, and maybe even you went through them, and you weren't part of that. But we reviewed it all and made sure all the parcels were included, so we didn't have the same issue we had on the 381 project, so.
Going back to the repayment, how many years if they do not pay in full? Do they have?
15.
Okay.
And they'll all be getting letters on that that'll spell everything out too.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-90 for the 382 project.
I'll second it.
George? Sure.
Yep.
Any other discussion on that before we have roll call? Roll call, please, Diane.
Jones.
Aye.
Teigs.
Aye.
Monday.
Aye.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Dobson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
And I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-91 for the assessments on the Center Street project.
Second.
Any-
You can give it to Seth.
Any further discussion on that one?
Well, I'm going to ask, when you do the, I don't know, preliminary hearing or whatever, you know, we had some people get lawyers and dispute that what they were being charged was too much. Is it still in effect that if whatever we have to pay, it's supposed to show that our property values increased by that amount? The benefit to our property for what we're assessing, has that kind of study been done so we're confident that the 7,500 is going to balance out?
After that downtown area assessment dispute, that's when we started putting caps on these, down to 7,500. And it's been a lot better as far as disputes and property value, you know, without getting an appraisal. It's hard to tell exactly what happens when the market changes too, so, I don't have a clear answer for that, but.
So for instance, if we should receive an increased benefit to our property of 7,500, because that's what we're paying, then is that going to raise our valuation by that amount?
No, because we can't control what the county sets as their
I know,
yeah,
that's why
appraised
I'm
value.
wondering, how do we arrive at, I didn't know if there was a study done or a recommendation that 7,500 is the right price?
It's been a precedent on the last
I was
few
just
projects.
gonna say, I know I can't remember the exact process or whatever, but we set a process so it would be consistent from project to project, and that's why there is a cap put on to the,
And that
the amount.
$7,500 is actually only a small percentage of the actual cost
Yes,
amount
because
of
the
the whole
county,
project.
especially on Center Street, the county is picking up some of that.
So is everybody else in the rest of the city.
Yeah, that didn't
Get it done. So to drive on a Belcher Street or something.
We'll get to them all eventually.
Any other further
Thank you.
discussion? Roll call, please.
Jones.
Aye.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Teigs.
Aye.
Arvisu. Yes.
Monday.
Aye.
Dobson.
Yes.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
All right, we've got resolution 2023-92 for approval of pay app number 3 for M&R paving. This was for the pipelining project. We just had one of these 2 weeks ago. We're doing another one because we have to use all the grant money for our USDA up by the end of this month, which is coming up really fast. So,
Are we prepaying them then?
nope. This is what they've done in the last 2 weeks. So, typically we do these once a month. That's why you're only seeing one for this project. This one has the most eligible sewer costs on it. We had $85,000 left in grant, so this $182,000 will eat the rest of our grant funds up. You know, and all the money's basically in our hands to finish this project.
So we're clear with that
So
one then.
we've cleared all of the loan and grant money from USDA.
Perfect.
We're still going through the approval process with them, you know, through the end, you know, and the final certification. But you know, as far as the dollars, they'll all be in our hands to pay the contract off. So. Great. At last.
Yeah, good work on that too, so we didn't lose any of it. I'll make the motion to approve 2023-92, the payment to M&R paving.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Landay,
Aye.
Dobson,
Yes.
Jones,
Aye.
Arvisu,
Yes.
Teagues,
Aye.
Mayor Coleman.
Aye.
We got resolution 2023-93 for ambulance agreement donation request. The council had their request set at $25,000 for the 2024 calendar year,
That doesn't match.
or 28.
Yeah, it's because they asked for 27,336, which is the same amount as last year. No increase.
Look at the agreement that they submitted. It's only at 25,000 that they're requesting.
And 25 is for 2022.
No.
And then 2023 and 2024 is 27,336.
I'm looking at the actual agreement that they presented.
Did they,
Resolution has 25 in it.
What she's saying is in the agreement, where it's titled agreement, if you go to number 4,
or it says 25?
it says they shall receive from city a one-time payment of $25,000 on January 10th of 2024.
I don't think they changed their agreement.
I was confused by that.
Yeah, the dollar amounts did not match up to me.
You want to table this one and just verify exactly what the numbers are supposed to be?
I would think you'd go off the agreement.
Why don't we just approve that?
The 25?
25.
No, I'd rather wait or change it to the 28 that we did last year.
We didn't do 28 last year. Did we?
For some reason, that sounds accurate.
I would did. They asked me for the same amount. We didn't run into this last year.
The invoice that they presented was 27,000, but the agreement that they're submitting is only 25.
Let's table it. Good,
Yeah, their invoice is $27,336.42. And that's what their contract rate per section is asking for 2 years in a row. So, yeah, either table it or approve for 28. I'd go either direction.
I mean, we have time to.
I would rather get a clarification from them.
Makes sense.
I'll make a motion to table the ambulance agreement just so numbers can be verified.
Second.
Let's take a roll call on that.
Yep.
Roll call, please. You saying no, we don't need to? They
Do we
like
need to
need
do
a
a roll
first
call
and a
to
second
put it off
table
or not?
Yes. To
So we're-
table it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready for roll
Yes,
call.
I would do a roll call.
I made the
Okay,
motion.
so we're ready for you.
Jan seconded.
Yep. I'm sorry. So we're waiting, Diane. Call on us.
Diane?
I'm sorry.
Diane?
It's okay, it's clicking now. It's clicking.
I missed that. Landay. Yes. Mr. Landay?
Aye.
Dobson?
Yes.
Teagues?
Aye.
Arvisu?
Yes.
Schmidt?
No.
Jones?
Aye.
Mayor Corman?
Aye.
All right, now we have resolution 2023-94, task order number 1 with Bollig Engineering for community center design. I sent this information out to you as a formality. I think last meeting I had put the proposal in your packets with the dollar amount, and this reflects that. goes over the deliverables and services provided included in here, so. If you have any questions on that?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-94 for the task order with Bowling Engineering.
I'll second it.
First and second, do we have anybody have anything about that? Roll call, please.
Teigs.
No.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Dobson.
Yes.
Schultz.
Aye.
Landay.
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye.
All right, resolution 2023-95, approval of the 2024 preliminary budget and tax levy. So the total levy based on the decision made at the budget meeting last week was 7%, which puts it at $1.528,312.
I think the only change that I saw in there was, I think towards the end of the meeting, we agreed to pass along the 1% for garbage that we have in our contract. It's increasing by 1%. I think for solid waste, and I don't think that's on here.
We can-
Did he do that in the fee schedule?
We can do that on the fee schedule too. That's an enterprise fund. It's not really part of the tax levy, so it's not critical for this resolution anyway. We'll have to pass another resolution indicating that on the fee schedule. Okay, first part of the year.
We have to do that, okay, we don't have to have that fee schedule by November.
No, that fee schedule, I think we'll adopt that in December, so we can have it active through the 1st of January. But, so that'll be coming up in a couple months.
That's when the rate goes up with them in 1st of January.
First billing.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2023-95, approval of the 2024 preliminary budget and tax levy.
Second.
Any comments on that before we have roll call?
Well, I'm going to support this resolution because I think it gives us some flexibility toward the end of the year and when we finalize our budget. But I do hope that we can maybe cut a little bit off of the 7%. But when we finalize it in December.
Anybody else have anything to say? Roll call, please.
Landay.
Aye. I'm always
Jones.
Aye.
Dobson.
Yes.
Schmidt.
Yes.
Arvisu.
Yes.
Teigs.
Aye.
Mayor Corman.
Aye. With seeing nothing else, do we have a motion to adjourn? Why not? All those in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Here, did the coronation start at 7?